Hello. Today, I wanted to talk with you about trauma processing and hypnotherapy. So, we've been looking at trauma, childhood trauma. These are very stressful experiences, of course. Think of trauma as just really horrendously difficult life experiences. And so, the issue itself, is it the experience or is it because we have such a hard time processing it? Where's the problem? Our work in therapy is about processing what hasn't been resolved so that then it just becomes what happened. It just becomes a trauma. It just becomes the highly stressful, difficult experience that we went through, but it's not getting in the way anymore. It's something that happened in the past. We've grown through the experience in some way, and it's not troubling us anymore. So this approach, this way of looking at trauma as, well, some people call it maladaptive processing. So the trauma is just a trauma, but the problem is the processing or dealing or digesting of that experience. So let's think of it as something that's happened. You've gone through something in your life. Maybe it's very young. You haven't got the resources to deal with it. Maybe it was just so huge and overwhelming that anyone would get jammed up in that. Maybe there wasn't the help to process it, to deal with it, to explain it, and the support to, go through the experience at the time. So for whatever reason, the experience hasn't been processed properly. And there's a whole branch of psychology that looks at ways people process and ways we can have problems with processing. But just think of it as something was too hard to process at the time. So our work in therapy is to go back and process it now. We need to revisit it. We need to go back to that place, that part of us, that trapped emotion, that aspect of our being that's still stuck in the trauma, stuck in the experience at the time it happened. It's like it's a time capsule, stuck back in the past. And so our work essentially is bringing loving attention to that part of us, to allow it finally to give it the support, the love, the care, whatever's needed to finish with it, to be done with it, to process it. We can't just kind of let it go, get rid of it. That doesn't work. We have to go through it, but we're going through it in this very purposeful, conscious, productive way so that we literally finish digesting the experience, and then it's done. Then it becomes just what happened. So hypnotherapy is a wonderful tool. I trained in hypnotherapy maybe 15 years ago. And yes, I was very interested in past life regression, life between lives work, and you had to do clinical hypnotherapy to qualify before you go into those spiritual regression trainings. But it turns out, as much as I love the spiritual stuff, the clinical hypnotherapy absolutely turbocharged my psychotherapy practice, because when we drop in, hypnotherapy is essentially just a shift in consciousness. We're taking a conscious awareness to a different brainwave state, a different brainwave level. And it's a very effective, efficient way to get to these parts of us that are stuck. So let's say we've got an issue from when we were 10 years of age, and we might be 40. I'm 60, but we might be 40 years old. And whatever age we are, it's like we can talk about it, we can understand it, we can do standard counselling around it, talk it out, tell our story. We can go over that. Well, it's important to go over that at least once or twice, but this is where a lot of counselling is limited and a lot of therapy gets stuck, is because we can have that adult awareness and education and do all that work around it, but we're not actually getting to the root cause. We're not getting to the level of our psyche where the energy's held or energy's stuck. And what I just love about hypnotherapy, what was just so amazing when I trained in it, I'd train on a weekend and go to work Monday and get to practice something 7 or 8 times. And it's like finding it's such an efficient way to bring our awareness to the level of the problem. You can only solve a problem at its source. We can't fix it from up here. Up here is like sitting in a boat and we chuck a fishing line down and we can fish for things and we can hook up certain bits of information or emotion or whatever. But hypnotherapy is like putting on scuba gear and jumping out of the boat and actually swimming down to the level of our mind body, our subconscious, our psyche, our being, where the problem is. And so we can help directly. We can intervene directly and do whatever is required. So with this kind of work, I mean, I love the creativity in hypno because every session is different, every client's different, every session with every client is different. And so we get to tailor make a session, in a creative way for what that person needs in that moment. There's lots of different tools that we use, lots of things I trained in, lots of things I've learned from different places, lots of things I've kind of developed just through practice and experience. But there's some general principles there that we can learn and apply sort of universally, and we can start to do our own self-hypnosis. And I'll mention here my Power of Mind course, little plug, put in a little ad here for my Power of Mind course. It is an online audio program. And in that program, I go through explaining all the psychology, the mind, how it works, and in great depth, all the different aspects around what hypnosis is, self-hypnosis, how to learn it. And then we go through guided practice starting at the very, very beginning. I put in the first thing I learned in the first weekend I ever did in my training. And from there, we go deeper and deeper. 7 sort of stages: education, understanding, psychology, just so you've got a really good, powerful, clear awareness of what's going on in hypno, and guided practice. So you're getting used to dropping in, getting used to a different brainwave state. So it feels quite different. It's very different to this sort of rational, intellectual conversation we're having right now. It's literally a different frequency of brainwave. And that's what we're getting to in these altered states that we get into so easily in hypnosis. You're always conscious, you're always in control. We're not using hypnosis for entertainment like a stage hypnotist. That's a very different use of this ability we have to go into different altered states of consciousness. No, you're always conscious, you're always in control, and we're just using it as a tool really to get to the parts of us that are stuck so we can work on them directly. So yeah, why don't we jump into a little process now, just to practice something, and yeah, see how you go. So I'd invite you to close down the eyes. You don't have to, but it's a bit easier to drop in with eyes closed and taking a few nice, long, deep breaths. Just really consciously expanding the breath, lengthening the breath, enjoying the breath. Deep inhalation, long exhalation. Just giving yourself permission just for 5 minutes or so to bring your awareness from the outside world to the inside world. Notice where you're making contact with the chair, the sofa, the bed, wherever you're sitting or lying. Notice the sensation of the body making contact, being held. And imagine yourself in a beautiful consulting room. It's a beautiful space, quiet, peaceful. The lighting is gentle, subdued. It's a lovely temperature, not too warm, not too cool. And there's some beautiful bits of furniture. Take a moment to notice the furniture in this beautiful consulting room. 2 or 3 chairs, very comfortable, armchairs, maybe a plant or two, some green out the window perhaps, a bookshelf, some other items. Notice the color, the feel of this beautiful room. And it's your inner consulting room. It's your inner therapy space. It's just for you. It's like a sacred space. It's just for you, this beautiful room. And so you can have it however you wish. Notice the color of the walls, the ceiling. Notice the floor. Is it floorboards, carpet, a rug? And what if you were to sit yourself down in your consulting room and you're feeling so relaxed, so peaceful, so inward already that you're already in self-hypnosis. You're already in this deeper brainwave state. And so into this state of mind, into this place, into your beautiful consulting room here, what if you were to invite a part of you to join you here and sit opposite you, next to you, in the chair, on the sofa? They might be a version of current day you. They might be a bit younger. They might be a lot younger. It might be the child you, could even be the newborn you. But however they turn up is perfect. Just welcome him or her, this part of you, this precious, beautiful part of you that you're inviting into this space, that you're meeting here in this deeper state of mind. And imagine asking them, what do they need? What do they need from you? What do you need from me as the adult you, from me as the greater you? What can I do for you today? And notice how they respond. There might be words, there often isn't. There might just be a look, or you might just get a felt sense of what they need right now. Just letting this part of you know that you've dived out of the boat and swum down to find them today in this beautiful, safe place. That you're here to help them to process whatever experience got jammed up, to help them in whatever stuckness they find themselves, whatever pain, whatever confusion. Just look them in the eye. Maybe you're holding them. It's quite okay to hold their hand, put an arm around them, give them the biggest hug. It is you. It's a part of you. And as you connect with this part of you, just let them know that you're here to give them love, support, kindness, compassion, empathy. Just a beautiful, attuned witnessing for whatever they're going through, whatever they're stuck in, whatever they need. And just notice how this part of you responds to this loving attention. And from here, if you've done this before, if there's experience, if there's confidence, you might continue the conversation. Or it might be enough just to hold this part of you, to bring this loving attention to this part of you. It might be enough now to just let this part know that you will continue to drop in and connect with them, that they're never going to be alone again, that you'll continue to help them. And when you're ready, just feeling that part of you merging back inside somehow. And just taking a last look around your beautiful consulting space, your therapeutic space, gently bringing your awareness now back into the room, back into a gentle waking consciousness, taking a deep breath, coming back into normal beta brainwave, waking consciousness, eyes open when you're ready, fully awake, fully alert. So how'd you go, my friend? This is deep work, and it's not easy to do this on our own. Usually people start doing some work with someone else, and in therapy with the hypnotherapist, with a psychologist like myself, and with time, with more confidence, they find they can do more on their own. It's rare for someone to be able to do this on their own initially because our defenses don't tend to let us go there into those deeper places on our own. We need support in that. We can do these initial forays, these initial connecting sort of practices. What you did just there in terms of creating a safe space within yourself in your therapy space there, and inviting a part to come forward and just noticing what your psyche brought forward, that we can do. And a bit of disclaimer here, of course, if this is challenging, opening up a lot, please, seek help. Seek help. This sort of guided session here is more a gentle introduction and a brief sort of invitation into the kind of work that's possible. And so if you're finding it's too much your own, definitely seek professional support in that. I'm happy to be part of that as you wish. But at the same time, if you're watching this, if you watched to this point, my friend, there's already most likely a maturity, a strength, a capacity to do this work. Maybe you're building on a whole lot of counselling and therapy you've done in the past. And so, don't underestimate your capacity too. Maybe you've built up a lot of resources to be able to build on this and do inner work. I do some of this every day, and I just find that, deeper layers emerge, and it's just such a powerful, wonderful modality to bring into our healing journey and our growth journey. So I also encourage you to have confidence in that. So listen to the audio program, The Power of Mind. You can find that through my website. It's not expensive. I kept it at a reasonable price point for people. Educate yourself, practice it, build up your confidence. Please ask questions, reach out to me or someone else if you get stuck or have any questions that arise. There's lots of people here, really delighted to help. I'm happy to be part of your healing journey. Good work. Well done. Look forward to seeing you next time.